Have you ever gotten caught in a networking conversation that's going on just a little too long, but you didn't know how to get out of it? All right, by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can gracefully end a conversation that isn't awkward and leaves everybody feeling good. For more super simple and easy to implement business building advice, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell so you're alerted with new videos every Monday and Thursday. Friends, I love networking, and I have been teaching entrepreneurs how to use networking strategically and authentically to build their business for over 18 years. And this is just one little piece that I'm going to now share with you. So first things first, I'm going to share 2 general points that you want to keep in mind when you're networking. Number 1, don't feel like you have to rush the conversation. It's really important to know your intentions before you go in or even when you're there. Are you there to maximize your time and talk to as many people as you can? Are you there to connect with the host or the guest speaker? Or are you there to kick back, enjoy yourself, and have long, luxurious conversations? Know beforehand what you want to do and what your intentions are while you're there, and that will help you already be in the right frame of mind for how long to spend in each conversation. And number 2, you also want to be mindful of other people's time. For example, are they a guest speaker and they're trying to circulate with as many people as they can before it gets going? Don't hog them. Are they a host and they're obviously talking to people about the room, but half their mind is elsewhere because they're also thinking about putting out fires or keeping things moving, or, oh no, we got to get going soon, where's my guest speaker? And finally, are they an attendee who is also there to have a great time, but maybe you notice they're starting to shift a little bit, look around, they're getting a little antsy. It's probably a sign that they're ready to leave the conversation as well. So really the best thing to do is pay attention to body language, but also keep in mind the role of the person you're talking to and be aware of whether or not you can take your time and have a long, luxurious conversation, or it's more of a brief intro, hey, how are you? And maybe you exchange business cards or contact information and keep the conversation going after the event. So what happens when you're in a conversation that you are loving, you are having the best time with this person and could talk to them for hours, but you're also aware that there are other people in the room that you do want to connect with? Okay, well, this is an easy one. So easy. All you have to do is say, listen, I have been loving this conversation and I absolutely want to keep it going. However, there's some other people here I really want to meet. What about you? They're probably going to say yes. In which case, you're just going to say, great, let's keep this conversation going later this week. Do you have a card, or what's the best way to get a hold of you? Get their contact information, let them know you're going to send them an email with your calendar invite so they can book a call, and keep this new budding relationship going with a conversation with more time and space to really dive in down the road. This can also work out well online if you're in breakout rooms or with bigger groups where you don't have time to really get into a bigger conversation, but you're really clicking with this person. In which case, great. Just let them know, hey, so-and-so, I'm really enjoying getting to know you. I'd love to keep this conversation going after this event. Do you want to exchange contact information and we can hang out later? So there you go. You've exchanged contact information. You've let each other know that you're going to set up a time to talk together after the event. Now what do? Well, I simply just say, great, shall we continue and go meet some more cool people? That's it. And I bring that person with me. So I don't feel like I'm ditching them or they're not feeling ditched. We're still together and still hanging out. It's just that we're not only talking to each other, we're expanding to talk to other people. So now what happens if you're in a conversation and you're not so much enjoying it and you already know you don't really want to continue on talking to this person or talk to them after the event? Okay, well, this is, I think, where a lot of people get awkward because they don't want to feel bad like they're, breaking up or rejecting somebody, or they don't want to feel like they're ditching them. So I'll tell you that the same thing that I just talked about applies. You can still say this has been really great. There's other folks I'd like to connect with. What about you? Awesome. Shall we continue together and go meet some new people? You can do the exact same thing. You might just leave off the whole, I'm loving this conversation. I'd love to keep it going. Can we book a time to talk? You might just leave that off. Another option there though, and this is one that I really love, is I invite someone else into our little circle that we're making. And so how I do that is as we're talking, I simply open up and shift my body language so that I'm not facing this person head on. I'm more at an angle, and I literally make eye contact with somebody who's close by. And when they make eye contact, I smile and say, do you want to join us? All right, so then they come into the conversation. Hi, my name is Lindsay. They introduce themselves. This is Frank. Frank talks hello, and everything gets going. What do you do, so-and-so? And then once the conversation is flowing, you just excuse yourself. Right? You simply say, oh, excuse me, I see my friend Sal over there. I want to go say hello. Or, excuse me, I want to make sure I connect with the host before things get going. Or, excuse me, I need to grab a drink of water. I'm super thirsty. Or the old tried and true, excuse me, I have to use the washroom. I mean, really, it doesn't matter because at this point in the conversation is probably flowing and you can just say, excuse me, and then move on to the next conversation. Generally at networking events or really any kind of events, this is a pretty normal thing to leave and like literally never see somebody again except for a wave from across the room. So you don't have to feel awkward about that. But what I do love about this technique is that it brings somebody else in so you're not feeling like you're ditching somebody or not sure how to awkwardly get out of this conversation. You have already left them with someone to talk to and it frees up you to be able to go. So if we were to compare this to an online situation, this might look like being in a breakout room with a smaller group from your larger networking event and somebody's maybe hogging all the airtime. They're doing all the talking. In that case, you would just make sure to talk to the other person and just say, hey, so-and-so, what do you think about this? Or we haven't heard from you in a bit. I'm so curious what you have to say. You know, it's just redirecting the conversation to make sure the other person is getting included here. If it was in a bigger general room online and you still are finding somebody is really sort of hogging all the talk time and listen, you can't get mad. People just don't know. We get excited. We have a lot to say. Sometimes we just don't pay attention to how much we're talking. This happens. We all do it. But you know what? Especially if you're the host in this situation, you're going to want to make sure that you pull on other people to communicate who maybe haven't been talking or have been just sitting there really quietly. And you might say, again, so-and-so, do you have anything to say on this? We've not heard from you in a minute. I'm so curious what you have to say. Or so-and-so, we haven't heard from you yet. What do you do? How come you're here today? What are you getting out of this? So again, it's just sort of redirecting the conversation. If there's one person that you see is really dominating, to make sure that everyone gets a chance to talk and speak up and let us get to know them. Before we go into our last point, do me a favor and comment below because I would like to know if you have a favorite technique that you use to end a conversation that just feels good. All right, this takes us to our third point, and we're gonna get serious for a moment. What happens if you're having a conversation with somebody and it is offensive or rude or you feel uncomfortable? So this actually happened to me quite a few years ago at an event that I was actually hosting. And I was talking with a gentleman, me and one other young woman were talking with a gentleman, and he was talking in a really inappropriate way and sharing stories that were sexual in nature and really inappropriate, and I was not okay with it. Now, he kind of made a comment about, I'm sorry if this offends you, but, and just kind of kept going. And the young woman next to me sort of laughed awkwardly. You could tell that she didn't know what to do, didn't want to be rude, didn't know how to get out of it. She kind of was just laughing. And I said, you know what, sir, this actually is making me uncomfortable. You can continue to tell us a story if you use a different one, but this isn't okay. And he just kept going. He kind of laughed it off and kept going. He was trying to make a point about something. So I literally just put my hands up and said, sir, this conversation is not appropriate. I'm not okay with it. You have yourself a good night. And I just left. I walked away. And it's one of those situations where, you know, it's awkward because I know that you don't want to be rude and make a scene, right? Especially as women, right? Don't make a scene, de-escalate. But at the same time, this person's being incredibly offensive and rude. And even after asking politely, they didn't stop. And so it's okay to put your hands up and say, this is not okay. I do not feel comfortable in this conversation. I'm going to leave. And just leave. You know what? If you're feeling triggered at all, if they've really crossed a line and you're feeling unsafe, feeling uncomfortable, you can go and talk to the host. If this is a situation of safety, go and talk to someone else that you know. And if you don't, hey, step outside and make a phone call if you need to just sort of calm yourself back down. Or you can leave if you really are feeling unsafe. It's really important, you know, this is outside of networking. I'm just gonna throw it out there, okay? But it's so important that we are recognizing when we feel safe or unsafe and really honoring what we need in that moment. In that moment, I needed him to not tell such a disgusting story in front of me and another young woman, and I expressed that. And when he did not comply and kept on going, I walked away. Now, it was my event. I didn't have the luxury of just leaving. thing and I didn't feel unsafe. I just felt like it was inappropriate. And so, you know what? Hopefully he figured it out. Probably he didn't. So again, remember that you don't know anybody, anything, and your safety is what's most important. And so if you're not feeling safe in an event, talk to the host, talk to someone else, definitely enforce a boundary. And if you must leave, then leave. All right, friends, Ish got real for a second there, but I hope you got my point. All right. Now remember, the networking event isn't officially over until you have followed up with everybody. So as soon as you get home, get in the car, close the computer down, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're sending out that email. If you've got the person who you really want to follow up with, send them an email, let them know how much you love the conversation. Here's a link to book your calendar. You cannot wait to talk. Off you go. Make sure you thank the host. Make sure that you connect and thank the speakers. Share any stories or pictures that you've got on social. And there you go. Your networking event is done, and you have learned 3 new ways to end a conversation, whether you're loving it, mehing it, or hating it. So now that you know how to gracefully end these conversations, what the heck do you do to turn these new business cards into actual business? All right, if you haven't already, I want you to go and download my 4 business building basics every new entrepreneur needs to know. It is a quick and fun and super effective mini course that's going to help you learn how to build your business. For even more support and, of course, to network with more like-minded new entrepreneurs, come and join my group, the Rad Connectors Community. If you haven't already, come and check out these 2 videos where I talk about networking strategically and how to do that perfect sales-free sales call with all the new business cards that you've just got. If you like this video, remember to hit like, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your business bestie. Until next time, friends, I will see you online. Happy connecting.